how did the Viking Age suddenly stop, and how did they change Europe and the world? That's a good question. So, the Viking Age was basically from the end of the 8th century to the middle or the end of the 11th century. So that's how it was. It's about 300 years or so that is considered to be the Viking Age. And so who were the Vikings? The Vikings were the people of Scandinavia. Let me show you what it means. Here's the map. So let's go westwards. So the Scandinavian countries are Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and to some extent Finland. So the Vikings were the Danes, the Norwegians, and the Swedes. They are basically one people, one culture, one ethnicity. So these guys were mostly farmers, and they would engage in fishing expeditions and some small raiding expeditions to other lands. But in the late 9th century onwards, late 8th century onwards, they began to embark upon these raiding expeditions in great force, and very soon they overran much of the island of the present day United Kingdom, etc., especially the northern part. And they had a great deal of influence in other parts of the world as well. Their influence stretched all the way to Constantinople, present day Turkey, and they traded everywhere. They controlled various trade routes, various river trade routes, etc., and all that, right? So that is the Viking Age. That is what is known as the Viking Age. They were great conquerors. They conquered most of England and all. And they were basically polytheists. They were adherents of the old Indo-European culture. There, if you look at the pantheon of their gods, it is the same as the Vedic pantheon with different names. Their greatest god, Thor, is essentially Indra. So that is what the Vikings were. What ended the Viking Age? Very simple. It is the Christianization of the Vikings that ended the Viking Age. The Christianization of the Vikings meant that they accepted the supremacy of the Catholic Church, not just in religious matters, but also in political matters. And once they became Christians, they lost the will to fight. They lost their that inner fire, etc. And they became one of the many Christian states that you will find across Europe. So basically, in very short, to answer your question, it is the Christianization of the Scandinavian countries that ended the Viking Age.